Hello, fishy friends. This is my first video since Fishbowl changed the look, and quite a change it is. I like it, but I do kind of miss my orange fishbowl. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the integration with QBO and the integration with QB Desktop. So right here, I'm going to bring up a little comparison chart here. So, certain things are exactly the same and certain things are different. So sales are the same, cost of goods sold is the same, inventory adjustments the same. However, my products, when I have to be a product to be on an invoice or be on a sales order in Fishbowl. So in QuickBooks Desktop, they consistently use FB_item, and we have a place where we can actually bring the product number over into the invoice, hide the Fishbowl_item, and make the real product number there. And that's the way we make a pretty QuickBooks Desktop invoice. We do not have to worry about making a pretty QuickBooks Online invoice, because instead of using FB_item in the API, Fishbowl creates a service part in QBO for that product item. So we're going to start off with, over here under product, I have created a new product for our QBO test. I have deliberately, even though this is an inventory item, I have deliberately coded it to services because I wanted you to see how this impacts the mapping between Fishbowl and QBO. So I'm going to go over here and create a new sales order. All right, and we will make it to, I don't know, Big Al's Bike Shop, why not? And let's send 20 of our new products over to QBO. New product for QBO. I'm going to add anyway. My inventory is over in the location group of Los Angeles, so this will be fine. I issue my sales order. And now I'm going to quick fulfill my sales order so that I can go see the impact on QuickBooks Online. So now I'm going to come here to my accounting integration, and I'm going to send that shipment over to QuickBooks Online. All right. And so it's successfully exported. So we're going to pull up QuickBooks Online, and we're going to go to the big gear, and we're going to look at all our products and services. And so now when I type in new, it shows me I have a new product for QBO. So when I edit that product, it's going to show you that when I purchase this, okay, I'm going to purchase it and it goes to inventory asset, and when I sell it, it's going to go to services. Remember that the cost of goods sold entry is handled by a journal entry. Okay, so now let's go look at our profit and loss report. Okay, reports, profit and loss, and we'll do it for today so we can stay focused. All right, so my new product for QBO went to services. Well, we go, oops, that's not right. It should be going to product sales. So now I'm going to go back over to Fishbowl, and I'm going to go to my my product, and I'm going to change this to product sales, sales of product income, and I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to make a new sales order. And who am I going to sell this to? Whoever ADM is. And we'll just make it 10 of my new product for QBO. Add anyway. Change my location group to Los Angeles. Okay. Issue. And now we are going to quick fulfill again. Okay. So now that I've quick fulfilled that, I'm going to send it over to QBO. All right, and now when I pull up QBO and I run this report, I want to go back to the summary report. So my services value increased. So what happened was, even though I changed, and there's my $50,000 right here of my 10 sold to ADM, what happens is I change the mapping in Fishbowl, but I also now have to change the mapping in QBO. Okay? So when I come in here, I need to go back to products and services. And I ask for my new. And I can come here and I can edit it. And I can now change that to be from services to sales of product income. And then I have this opportunity to also update the historical transactions. So I'm going to do that, and voila, we're going to come back to our P&L report for today. Run my report, and everything moved from services to sales of product income because of the QuickBooks Online ability to update historical transactions. So that is, so the advantage of it doing it in QBO. And so the other thing that I have seen happen is I have seen, because the mapping's not linked, other than the very first time the part number comes across, I have seen well-meaning bookkeepers come in here to all of these Fishbowl parts and don't understand why. That's freight in. Let me find an inventory item here. Do not understand why that this is, when I buy it, it's going to inventory asset. So they'll assume a periodic inventory approach because QBO itself doesn't do much of a job managing inventory, and they will go here and change it to something else like cost of goods sold. And all of a sudden we end up with an inventory asset that's constantly shrinking. So that is probably, an appendum to my top 10 reasons Fishbowl and QuickBooks don't balance, is with respect to QBO, bookkeepers have been known to go in and change that mapping. And because it's always a one-way push from Fishbowl to QuickBooks, there's no way for Fishbowl to know the mapping was changed. So now we're going to go back to my little spreadsheet here. So that was actually the easiest one. So my parts are the same. It's just the products that end up on an invoice that they create a service part in QBO. So here is, the mapping can get out of whack between the two of them. Okay. So now we're going to go over receipts, reconciled receipts, and landed cost. So QuickBooks Desktop has a transaction type called an item receipt, and QuickBooks Online does not have a transaction called an item receipt. So when QuickBooks Desktop, Fishbowl sends over an item receipt. With QuickBooks Online, Fishbowl sends over a journal entry when we receive against our PO. Then when we reconcile our receipts to the bill, in QuickBooks Online, we get a bill. And in QuickBooks Desktop, we get a bill. And in QuickBooks Online, we get a bill plus a journal entry reversing the journal entry that was the receipt. And then if we're going to add if we've added landed costs to that bill, we're going to get another journal entry for the landed costs. So we're going to go do that example right now. Okay, back to Fishbowl. And we're going to come over here to our purchase orders. And we're going to go new. And Henderson's Hardware and Tool Supply. So let's buy 5 of this brake cable and 10 of this brake cable. Okay, and we're going to get a unit cost of 10. Make this unit cost 8. All right, and I am going to issue this. Okay, now I am going to receive it. So I'm going to receive everything. We've counted it. We've verified the vendor sent us the right stuff. So I'm going to use the big truck that's no longer red, but it's still red over on the right hand side. Okay, and we're going to simulate what happens in the real world. We're going to send that over to QBO. Wait while we wait for the bill to arrive. Okay, so now when I go to QBO, and I'm going to get off the products and services, I'm going to come down here and run a balance sheet report. Okay, and as one of my clients knows, I just love balance sheets. And we're going to make it a balance sheet as of today for easy demo purposes, and run report. So we have this account here named holding. Okay, so the item receipt in QuickBooks hits inventory and accounts payable. The journal entry that replaces the item receipt in QuickBooks Online hits the holding account and inventory. So here's my received against that PO, and I drill down on that journal entry, and we can see that I've got $130 going to holding and $130 going to inventory asset. All right, so now we're going to continue with the Fishbowl side of this transaction. So I'm going to go back into receiving. I'm going to go back into receiving, and that is not my right PO, so I'll take a different trip there. Okay. Okay. And PO number. Henderson's Hardware. Okay, so here we go. And now I'm going to hit my reconcile button, and I'm going to pull in my bill number. All right, and those of you who have been following me know that one of my rules is the bill date is always going to be equal to the receive date. So we received this on June 6, 2021. So our bill date is going to be June 6, 2021. Next. Now I'm going to add, let's see. I want to have a service, freight in. So this is my inbound freight, and they're going to charge us $25 for that. Okay. And now I'm going to add something else. Just let's say we had a setup fee. I don't have a setup fee in this file. How about, yeah, I'm going to say customs duty, but it doesn't really count. So I'm going to make that $10. Okay. And then on both these cases, I'm adding them to the bill. Okay. And now I'm going to land the freight by quantity. Okay. And now I'm going to add the duty by cost. Finish. So my grand total on the bill is $165. Remember that number. Finish. Okay. So export back out to Fishbowl, to QBO. All right, one bill went over. We come into QBO. So I'm going to rerun that balance sheet as of today. Back to my balance sheet. Okay, and I'm going to run the report. And you can see that here we had $130 that was accrued when we received it, and we reversed that entry minus $130. So that entry goes directly to inventory and inventory asset and the holding account. So now I go back to my report, and I'm going to look at my inventory asset transactions today. Okay, I have my bill. So I'm going to look at my bill, and my bill says that I have this that's going to inventory, and I have this that's customs duty, and this is freight in, which is what we did. Okay. Then Fishbowl comes through and does journal entries. Okay, so here's my accounting adjustments. And so it added $35 to inventory asset, and it took $35 out of inbound freight, which isn't quite right because the customs duty, I don't know. Well, no, the customs duty is mapped to inbound freight in this file. So as you can see, there's a lot more in the way of journal entries going on in QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Desktop. The other thing, the other thing that's important to do is to go through and reconcile your quote-unquote holding account. So back to my balance sheet. So I want my balance sheet to be all dates, especially since this is a demo file. But the balance inside my holding account should be only the stuff that I have received but not paid for. Okay, so I'm going to drill down in this, and I didn't run the report. I want all dates. Run report. Okay, so here's the detail from the holding account from the very beginning of time. So I'm going to send that out to Excel. Okay, and I'm going to put it on my desktop for easy finds. All right, so now I have the detail of my holding account. So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to get rid of that right there. And the other thing I'm going to do is make sure I have no merged cells. So got rid of all my merged cells, and I'm going to get rid of my grand total down here. Okay, so now I'm going to add a couple columns right here, and I'm going to use an Excel function that you find under data called text to columns, and I'm going to use delimited, okay, because what I want to do is I want to be able to pivot table these by purchase order number. So as you can all see, that pound sign is right before the order number itself. Okay, so I'm going to ask for it to do text to columns based upon the pound sign or the hashtag in the current generation. It always lies to you about that. Okay, and this is PO number. And now I'm going to insert a pivot table. Okay. Insert pivot table. Okay, and I'm going to pull up my purchase order number as my primary, but I do not want it to be a sum. I want it to be my rows. And now I'm going to take my amount and I'm going to sum that. Okay, and when I go into the value field setting, I can format this so it's nice and pretty. Okay, so everything here with a balance has a transaction that may or may not be correct. So I have a negative 1,300, which shouldn't be. My credit to this account should be the initial journal entry when I receive it, and my debit to this account should be my journal entry when I reconcile the bill. But there have been glitches and occasionally in all of that. So now I can just go through my date in here, and I don't want to try it move my date. So I can go research these and find out what happened. You notice that these all are working quite nicely, but we had some errors in the beginning, and frankly, I have created this deliberately, but this is an exercise you should go through to reconcile your holding account. So with that being said, we've learned new Excel tricks maybe. We've learned the differences between how QBO works and how the integration with QBD works. And I think that'll do it. Thank you very much for viewing this video. And we at Terabyte Solutions are a full service Fishbowl support firm. So we would like to help you with your Fishbowl issues. Give us a ring at 949-645-1019 and we will be happy to help. Thank you very much. Bye.